review this, and I don't think it was properly agendized. And so, as I stated in my email this morning, I'd like to see you folks table this and bring it back when it can be properly noticed through the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Is that?
One more thing, you all set precedent for this about 3 items ago with Mr. Reynolds' thing. You know, he said, you guys, I heard someone say, let's get this stuff correct and bring it back. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Parker. And that's the only card on 17-1? Right, okay, got it. So on 17-1, there are a number of attachments, and this is noting in the summary that Dale Scott and Company, and they had come before the board a few weeks back to present an alternative plan for should this board choose to go into a bond sale again, which is a second decision that we make separately. So they presented, the summary in here says they have extensive experience in working with mid to large size districts like Mount Diablo, and have served as financial advisor to the California School Boards Association short-term borrowing programs, and they were recommended by School Services of California. So since they've been founded, they've been a financial advisor to over 1,000 California K-14 financings totaling over $15 billion. In 2014, they brought over 100 financings to market, nearly double the amount of their nearest competitor. So the district is asking the board, and again, this is the financial advisory services. It's linked to 17-2, which is bond sales. Obviously, if we don't approve the bond sales, then we don't have a contract with the financial advisory services because we wouldn't be selling the $77 million. So we don't know yet the outcome of that. But I would ask, is there a board motion at this time to approve Dale Scott and Company?
Well, I do have a question.
Okay.
So you just made reference to if we don't approve the bond sales, then we wouldn't need a financial advisory services. So are we doing this backwards?
Well, and that's what originally I was talking about is I think the comment came that in the in 17-2, and I'm probably not the best one to speak to this, but in 17-2 there is a mention in that contract of Dale Scott as the financial advisor. So that would make 17-2 not actually correct. We'd have to go back and revise that should some action come out of 17-2 for bond sales. And we can move this in a different order if the board so chooses as well. If you want to deal with 17-2 first, we certainly can, but my understanding when in looking at 17-2 is there's a mention of Dale Scott in that packet, yeah. And so they go hand in hand.
If I could, I believe there was some misinformation earlier, whereas 17.3 has a mention of Dale Scott. So I would recommend to the board to move 17.2 first, 17.1 second, and 17.3 to remain.
Okay.
And our apologies for that.
So that's been a slight change in that. And that was the original order. The original order was bond sales, then the financial advisory services. That was the original order on the agenda, so it was altered because of that language. But why don't we take 17-2, which is now highlighted, and deal with that one first? And I think we have a couple of speakers on this. So sorry, Mr. Parker, thank you for speaking to 17-1. Your comments are not forgotten, but you're also up again for 17-2, which we're going to address now. So, Mr. Parker.
How's the song go? Second verse, same as the first? So I've been asking for quite a while, and I'm pretty sure I've heard a couple of board members ask for some specific information regarding the either $38.5 million worth of bond sale or the $77 million. And I think that the staff has put together a report that it looks like they're going to maybe give you tonight, or at least it was attached to the agenda. But there's no specific budget information around these items in here. And that's really what we kind of need to see. You know, I'd like to know exactly how far $38 million is going to take us down the road going forward. I think it's very important to you know, prove to the taxpayers who passed the bond for us, you know, that we're being responsible about spending the money. We can't just go and say, well, you know, we're going to do some, you know, whatever's on the list, some doors and some windows and some asphalt and some concrete, until we run out of money. So, I mean, how much concrete are we going to do? We're going to do 8 square feet or 8 million square feet. It seems like it's not too difficult to come up with this list, and I think that you folks, you know, unless I misunderstood what I've heard you all say, at least 2 of you, on 2 separate occasions in public in this room, that I've heard you request the same thing. And so, again, I'd like to have you see you guys table this for, you know, lack of information. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Mr. Ferrante, followed by Alicia Minion.